Sice Foster, I think it is. Did I see that the boat washing fine is $20 if you don't have your boat washed?
It's to get your boat water, it's $20 for non-resident.
You have, so the fine would be $20?
No, the fine will be,
The cost is $20.
If you go to the boat washing machine, it costs 20. If you're caught on the lake, for example, not having washed it, the fine starts for a human $200.
Thank you.
First offense.
Thank you.
Ron Glow, Fisher's Point. Just like to say a big thank you to the town for coming and actually grading Fisher's Point. However, they did follow some of my suggestions. They brought the large grader with the teeth on the blade. Unfortunately, he didn't grade all the areas where we had potholes, so they're back again. But what I'd like to propose, and this is a big project, is we really need to look at trying to completely redo the road on Fisher's Point. For the long term, it's the best solution. It's going to cost a lot of money, but it needs to include some drainage and rebuilding the entire road. And I'm willing to work with some of the other neighbors on our street, because a lot of us now are really getting concerned. This has been going for about 20 years. Together, if we can come up with a plan where we can actually seriously, for the long term, fix up this road. So we're paying lots of taxes there.
Oh, don't say that. Everybody pays
Yeah.
taxes. But there's a lot of restrictions in rebuilding that road.
Yep.
I mean, it's not easy, for sure. So there's a lot of roots under there to dig it all up and redo, and I don't know, that's for the public works, the engineers and public works to decide. And you'll see, it's been noted on Mr. Globe, so we'll see.
Okay, because what I'm going to do is, one of my neighbors, Danny St. Pierre, who's one of the public owners of STS Construction, we're willing to work together. We've already started last year with Robert, but we'd really like to come in. We'll do the work, the design work and everything, but it's just we need the help from the town. How can we put this into a budget to do the work over the next few years? Okay? The other, just a comment on the letter lady about the bicycle path. I'm on it very often, and it is true, there's a lot of people walking there with headphones in. But what I would suggest is, could we put a note up that anyone that's on that bike path with a bicycle, if they could please add a horn or a bell or something to their bikes, because a lot of the bikes go whizzing by people too fast, and the people don't know they're coming. I use a bell, and nearly everybody, when I use it, they're actually saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. So just a little comment. There are a lot of signs, though, along the path that actually indicate that ways to use the path too. Now, whether we add more or not, I don't know if it's going to make much difference, but that is a challenge. So,
It is,
yeah.
for sure.
So, okay. One last one here, because it didn't come up tonight. My neighbor Pat works at the library, but I understand that we have a major issue that the government now has, I understood, canceled their financing for the library project. Mm-hmm. Do you have any news on that? Is that really the case, or?
That is the case. They were basically promised it. It just has to be passed, but with everything after the elections in the States and the tariffs going in, and there was a lot of cuts.
Yeah.
They still give out grants. If the library, example, is doing renovations inside to maintain the building, the grants are still there, but it's not for an extension or adding.
Okay, so I know there was a lot of money raised over the years, but if what was raised, is there enough there that they could actually do part of the project that they were going to do? Do we know?
Pardon me?
I know there's been several $1 million that have been raised through the town here, but with all that money, is not a possibility they could do part of this project?
Well, that's what they're looking at.
Yeah.
Downsize maybe
Okay.
their extension, and also to look at other ways that
Okay.
they possibly to acquire a bit more money, but
Okay.
not probably enough to go ahead with what they wanted to do.
Okay.
But they're looking at all the options.
Okay. The other thing I mentioned, there was a question on, is this building being used? I can say from the men's shed point of view, we're now holding meetings here. We much appreciate it. We're probably going to be holding more meetings if it's available during the winter time. Because it's one of the few places left where we can get a big enough place where we can now accommodate everybody that's joining our group.
All right.
No. Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Gold.
you're very welcome.
Megan Celine, 479 Chemin de Bonneville. I don't know whether this is appropriate because you prefaced this question period should be on topics brought up at this.
I know, but I feel very lax tonight.
So may I?
What's that toilet paper you gave me? Don't buy any more of all.
I got another shipment, no problem.
You can keep it.
Yeah, no problem. Regift. Whoops. I attended, there's a woman, her name is Marie-Christine Roberge. I don't know whether you're familiar with her name. She lives in Sutton, and she gave a presentation at the Knowlton Garden Club quite some time ago. And I was, very impressed. And so I suggested that this person speak at the Canadian Club in Cowansville, which she did. And so well received, perfectly bilingual. She has a resume that is incredibly impressive. She does these presentations on invasive plants. And she's free. And she's just down the road. She, as I said, the presentation was fantastic. And I had approached her after the Knowlton Garden Club to say, hey, would you be willing to come to the Canadian Club? Which she did. She spoke for 2 hours. She was only supposed to speak for 1 hour, but nobody would let her go. And she also, an individual spoke to her, and she does invasive plants, flowers, shrubs, trees. She does, I found out as well that she would do a presentation on invasive plants in lakes, which I think has been a concern here as well. So I'm simply making the suggestion that perhaps you consider her as someone to do a presentation here, in the space and everything. And I have information here, so I'll just leave it with you, if that's okay? Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Alicia Sarko, Knowlton. If we could look at 3139, which is the mandate for legal services. 3139. Yeah, has the mic just gone off? I think it is. I think it has. Haven't touched it.
The battery is a little weak. No.
3139.
That's right.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm going to have to speak really loud. Okay.
Teach your voice.
There you go. 3.139. Can you tell us more about what's going on there, please?
I'll ask the constituted woman out there.
Thank you.
I know, but he's going to explain it in turn.
Thank you.
So DNR is a general legal service for outside work. In this case, we're talking about the project at 472 Knowlton Road, the brown building which is there, and proposed future buildings on the same area. Anyone who's here has gone by there probably noticed that there's been issues about that construction site for a period of time, and we're well behind the construction schedule that was originally set. So the council has followed the suggestion of the administration that it's time to put this formally into our outside legal counsel to address the dossier in its entirety from their point of view, as opposed to trying to handle it piece by piece internally.
Okay. So have proceedings been instituted yet in this case?
No, it's just a question of giving the mandate to Kane Lamar, and they'll follow through with meetings and letters and so on. Ultimately, it could lead to a legal action, but we're not there yet. We're not even close.
Okay. Are you in a position to share with us what the issues are, the points of dispute that Councillor Patterson alluded to?
Not particularly, because a lot of it's confidential, a lot of it's proprietary. But as Mr. Patterson set out, the first PEO was approved in 2022. 2 years later, exactly to the month, a slightly amended project was approved. Now we're 10 months later from there. The conditions that were part of the PEO from 2024 have not been met. And it was felt that waiting any longer wouldn't do any good. So the council decided to, in a separate resolution, to cancel that PEO, put the file in the hands of our lawyers, and then we'll try to move the case forward, move the file forward, and hopefully come to a good resolution that is good for the town.
Okay, so there would be no more construction there at the moment until matters are
At
solved?
the moment, certainly not.
Okay. Is it the same, because this was already the subject of a lawsuit where United Construction initiated proceedings against the town previously. Is it the same issue where they're trying to put more units in?
No, that lawsuit instituted by United a year or two ago was withdrawn by
Was
United.
withdrawn, that's true,
A long
yes.
time ago.
Okay,
So nothing to do with that.
all right, thank you very much. Also, in connection with the former excess swine property, the excess swine property, 3.1, 3.10, okay? So the signing authority and authorization to advance funds, 401 Chemin Knowlton. Can you just help us understand? You mentioned that the current owners are putting it up for sale, correct?
It's already for sale.
It's already for sale. But yet we're granting funds to explore future usage of that property. I'm not quite clear on why we're doing that if we don't know who's going to own it. Can you help us understand that?
So obviously if the organization, HCAQ, which is when we mandate it, they will have to go and say, well, we have interest perhaps in the building, because it's a project that they would fund. But before we would table an offer, we need to know what state the building is in and what work would be required to fix the building. So it could be that we don't even pay the $15,000, because if the seller says, well, no, I don't want you to look at my building, well, then we won't give the funds. But if the seller says, yeah, well, you can analyze it, so that it's a first step to see if it's even feasible. If it comes back and it's because the federal government has recently allotted lots of money to convert or build new affordable housing. So this organization is experienced in doing these types of projects, so that's why we're working with them. But your question was, why are we doing it if it's selling? Well, this organization may put in an offer if the conditions are interesting.
Okay, is the town proposing to buy this?
Nope, not at the present time. The only money we're putting in, the projects that have been approved by these organizations, the town usually has an investment in the project, but we would not own it, we would not operate it. That's not the premise that we're going under in the current analysis. But it's very early.
I'm sorry, what did you say at the end?
I said it's very early.
All right.
If the seller doesn't want to discuss with us, and we can't analyze it's finished, so.
Thank you for the clarification.
Larry Ingold, Knowlton. I'm going to look at Octroi de Control 3134 and 3133. Is this above and beyond the ones that were given out at the special meeting concerning this land? Or is it the only amounts that we will be giving out? We had a special meeting on the 20th of March where we octroi de contrat Ville de Lac-Brome, service professionnel en architecture, caserne d'incendie. And you have the same thing again tonight. Are we going to pay out twice, or are we paying out once?
No, it's different. I'll let Mr. Arell.
Well, now that we got a land, we need to see if the land is feasible to build on, so we need to hire special professionals to do the geotechnical.
So this is above and beyond what was given out?
Yeah.
Above and beyond?
Yeah.
this is gonna be a very expensive fire station.
That's your opinion, sir.
Yes, it is, and the figures are talking now. Uh,
Brenda Stone here in Knowlton.
I don't think the microphone is working, so
No,
if you want to just
you have to speak, loud.
Perfect.
I'm still Brenda Stone, even if the mic's not working. Concerning the 15,000 that Mr. Patterson was just speaking about, how do we get that back?
We haven't spent it yet.
When we spend it, how do we get it back?
In the protocol that's done, it could be that we analyze the building and we decide not to go forward, and we will not get that. So there is a possibility, but if there's no analysis that's done, we don't pay the money. So if the seller says, yes, you can look at it, and we say, fine, we're going to have the building evaluated to see what costs are involved, then we won't get the money back. Or we actually, technically, if the project does, there's very little chance that we would get the money back if we do the study. If there's no study, there's no money spent.
How, do you have any idea as to how open this gentleman is? I mean, we've already given a grant for, well, you gave out 40,000, for looking at his roof?
No.
Was that not?
No,
I don't-
the only thing that we did is spend a lot of time and a lot of energy at meetings which you attended, where the promoter said he was going to build apartments and he didn't, and now he's put the building up for sale. But other than time invested by municipal staff, we've not spent any money on 401 Knowlton Road.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. And my concern is just as we spend, how do we get a return? That's my issue. The more history I do on this company, the more shaky everything gets for me, and I just would not like to see the town lose because of the history of this company.
Bonsoir, Chantal Brodeur. Au point 4.4.1, 4.4.1, est-ce que vous pourriez, Monsieur le maire ou Monsieur Patterson, revenir sur ce point? Vous avez passé très rapidement, puis j'ai pas très bien compris.
Lequel numéro?
4.
L'abrogation de 216 rue des Moulins.
Exact, c'est ça, s'il vous plaît.
Alors, originalement, en décembre 2024, le 2.16 des boulots, on avait passé une dérogation mineure pour permettre l'aménagement du stationnement d'une certaine façon. Donc, le mois passé, le compteur est revenu et ils ont fait le stationnement au centre des deux immeubles. Donc, ce qu'on fait, c'est administrativement, on vient annuler notre ancienne dérogation parce que le stationnement ne sera plus où il était prévu en décembre 2024.
OK, merci.